Coming up in this week's episode of the Alfa Nut, the sunshine returns as Great Britain basks in a heat wave. Right, well, moving on then. Another pony scratches its bottom. Well, at least it's not doing it on my car this time. Oi, get off! And after 40 years, Chris finally gets up close and personal with his childhood fantasy car.
Very sorry. Up here. Bloody car behind me.
The iconic 1970s Alfa Romeo Montreal. When I was about 9 years old, my mum bought me a dinky model of an E-Type Jaguar, just like this one. Now, this wasn't my first toy car, but the E-Type was so strikingly good looking that it was the first car I remember actually becoming interested in. And before long, I was begging my parents for model cars every birthday and Christmas. And I was fantasising about exotic 60s and 70s sports cars, such as the Alfa Romeo Carabao, the Di Tommaso Pantera, and the Lamborghini Miura, of course. My personal theory about how a car nut's mind works is quite simple. Adult car nuts tend to still dream about the same kinds of cars that inspired them when they were growing up. These patterns of behaviour become imprinted on the brain. Here we see the left side of the car nut's brain, which is responsible for complex logical decisions, such as parallel parking, deciding whether to have a second bacon and egg McMuffin, and trying to work out if that girl standing at the bar is actually smiling at you, or whether she just has wind. The right side of the brain is the creative part, which is responsible for making you drive too fast. It also makes you buy stupid-looking trainers and constantly forgets where it put the car keys. None of these things are your fault. If a car nut is separated from their car, the brain gets very angry. And if not treated by a doctor, may even escape, leaving a completely empty head. Unfortunately, these poor souls may subsequently go on to buy a Nissan Leaf. Oh, what a shame, it's caught fire. Or even a Peugeot. So then, that's the science part done. What's next? Now, in my particular case, the car that first gave me the fizz was the Alfa Romeo Montreal, which I first saw in a magazine my friend brought to school. It's taken me 40 years to finally get a drive in a Monty, but this week, after a few false starts and bad weather disappointments, it finally happened. I guess you could call me an old romantic, but when I look at cars like the Montreal, I think about hot summer days on the French Riviera, films by Federico Fellini, Peter Sellers and Sophie Loren, and that opening scene from The Italian Job. Yes, I know that was a Lamborghini Miura, but both cars were designed by the man who, in my opinion, is the greatest car designer who ever lived, Marcello Gandini. The Montreal concept car with a 1.6-litre Julia engine was introduced at the 1967 Expo, held in Montreal, Canada. and by the time the first production car appeared in 1970, it had been fitted with a 2.6 litre V8, which was derived from the engine used in the fabulous 33 Stradale racer. Since the public had already nicknamed the car the Montreal, Alfa decided to keep the name for the production car. Only 3,900 Montreals were built in total, and the production was complicated with 3 factories being involved: the Arese Alfa Romeo plant in Milan and the 2 Bertoni plants outside Turin. This 1974 car is owned by local Alfa fan Alex, whose red GTV you may also remember me driving earlier this year. This Monty was recently restored and upgraded by UK Alfa maestros Alfaholics, and, as well as extensive cosmetic work, the car was also transformed by numerous upgrades such as power steering, 4-pot brake calipers, uprated suspension, and electronic fuel injection to replace the troublesome spiker system, which was originally designed for racing.
Now the only thing is, I can't really
Stop.
Look.
You're okay, I think. The result is simply awesome, with gorgeous paint and finish, superb handling, a comfortable cabin, and a spine-tingling bellow when the accelerator is floored. Now the problem with Dartmoor is that for a photographic location it's hard to beat, but for driving it's a bit of a nightmare due to the 40 mph speed limit, coupled with the numerous kamikaze sheep, ponies and cows, which all wander aimlessly all over the roads.
You're right, yeah. There's a kind of logic to that, isn't it? Fly over the top of it. It's also very torquey, I think towards Ashburn. I don't want to go that far. Oh my god.
Suddenly the whole of Dartmoor is spread out below us.
Yeah. Oh, that must be, is that Whittington Church?
Yes, it is, I think, yeah.
How far did we want to go, Chris?
Well,
well, no, it's the 3/4.
so Alex and I went in search of some slightly more open roads to give the Monty some beans.
We could just stop here and take a shot. Wayside Cafe. Feeling, and that box is just, it's difficult to describe really. It just works so well with it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I always describe it. It's got a sort of a bellow, but Yes,
That's the
a good
word.
That's a good word.
It
Never
gets-
sure how
gets
to
you in
say
the
that. You
guts.
said it very well. I'm impressed.
They say that you should never meet your heroes in case you're disappointed. Well, take a look at my face. What do you think? "40 years is a long time to wait to meet a hero like the Alfa Montreal. The world has changed enormously since Gandini sat at his desk and designed this complex, organic and predatory shape. And 52 years later, it still divides opinion and provokes debate. I can tell you one thing though, I was far from disappointed. In fact, my 12-year-old inner self was whooping and clapping his hands today.